transitioned to the end of this weekly candle, the last Sunday weekly candle of this month already, believe it or not, and end up on the last final stretch of the monthly candle. We have a lot of information that can be found here this evening. And so far, from a thinly traded weekend perspective, from where we're sitting right now with some of our favorite alt tokens, and where we're at with Ethereum, we are on the verge of something very, very, very large here. We haven't got the validation yet. I like how IOTA is sitting at 222 while I'm having this conversation to start. It really, really, really makes me happy to see it at 222, because it's a sign the angels are with us in this live. And it's great to feel the touch of our Lord and Savior with us over our guiding arms and guiding us in the right direction. But I want to start out by saying that even XRP's at 222. So ironic that XRP sitting there at 222 and IOTA sitting up there at 222. A sure sign that we are being guided in the right direction right now. And what we're going to talk about this evening is that much more important. So remember, if you are tuning in, this is, at the end of the day, for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. I do think that I give better than average technical analysis, and I think the track record proves that I am doing what I think is in the best interest for my audience and myself as well. But with that being said, when you make a decision, it's got to be your decision. I'll do my best to go over these charts, no matter if you're on day one, 1 year, 10 years, whether you have more or less experience than I do, or your fellow person you see commenting, or one of the other 45,000 plus other subscribers. We're all on different levels. So I'm going to do my best to make sure this information is transparent no matter what your experience level is. So with that being said, the first thing we need to look at is coming into the end of this weekly candle. And it's a big thing because it closes in about 49 minutes. I strategically set up this. I like to do a second live on Sunday, especially when I do them in the mornings, to do the weekly candle close and then have it overlap past that 8 o'clock time frame. The start right now, because we don't ever know what's going to go on in our normal lives. As we've seen, we've had many passings here the last few days of some of our most influential people that we grew up with. Some names have been tarnished because the new age propaganda is bullshit. People are soft as hell. No offense if you are. But then again, you might be offended. But let's not go down that path. But a salute to my whole audience, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I've done. It only matters the perception from all of my peers, all of the ones who have watched me. And for that, I appreciate each and every one of you being here. And don't, in the future, let what's happened in the past be clouded by things that we don't even know if they're going to happen or not. Cheers, my friend. Salud. And that was special because I don't drink all that often. So that's for all of you. And myself. Mostly for all of you. So, where are we sitting at right now? Ethereum sitting in a very... And one more thing. I want to make sure I mention this. If you're trying to make easy money, please. What we're trying to build here in this community, we're doing it from a 1x perspective. So even like on BITUNIX, IOTA, Casper, ZIL, there's a few of them that you have to buy on the futures market. I still buy them in 1x. So you don't have to use the excuse it's in futures. I had to buy it like that in the leverage market. Yeah, but you can do 1x. So it's the only difference is you can't send it off the exchange. So I don't want to hear the excuses. But what ends up happening, and this is from my own experience from studies that I've seen, well, just that I do, just watching, I can see things that most can't, because there's a lot of different people that are all different experience levels in crypto. Let me read this. XRP Lamar. And no offense, because this is actually a rather cool story, even though yours is like Lemur, but I'm going to call you Lamar. Is that okay? I hope I don't offend you. In your first month with the emoji pads of me being abducted by aliens, and that is my face superimposed on there. And the reason why this is a cool story, we have, I don't know how it's going to sound when I say it. We have squirrels out here. And we have different color ones. And traditionally, the brown one's Walter. The black one's Lamar. You know, just Lamar Jackson, Lamar. you know, that's how we do it. And then we got the gray ones. We got different ones. Like there's a red and brown one. Its name is Sandy. And then we've got Ruby. And then and that one looks like it's got steroids in the wintertime. Oh my God, I was so afraid of this thing. It loved us. It'd walk up to us. But this thing's arms are like the size of Fort frickin' Knox. And everybody would come here to drop stuff off. Even the mail lady's like, my God, have you seen the arms on that thing? And I'm like, yes, I have. It scares the shit out of me. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. I mean, truly, if it was my size. But anyhow, so it's just funny when I seen your name. It's like the transparent world. We've been feeding these things. Lamar, too. Lamar's one of our friends. So I'll always think of Lamar when I think of you. And I know it says Lemur. I'm assuming Lamar. Although it could be Lamar. Just know you put a big smile on my face, my friend. A big smile on my face. And thanks for making me the happiest person in the world today. Joining Tom's army. Certainly not. I wasn't expecting anybody to join it today for some reason. But holy shamoles. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Man, oh man, when we go over what we're going to go over today, that title is not... The title I put today is for a reason. I said XRP's next surge brings it over $4. And that's once we confirm. If we get over that 328 and prove this cup and handle is legit, $4 is going to be the short target. That's going to be the least of our worries if you're looking to short this market. Because we certainly are not. A lot of people ask me why I don't short the market to begin with, ever. Because I always think if you short the market, and I have done it in the past sometimes, but what it does, even if I make it, let's just say I made a bet and I made $1,000 on the bet, right? The problem there is now I'm playing the market for the short trade, but I'm not paying attention to the accumulation once again. So once again, they get you kind of in the catch-22 where you're trying to make easy money, but you're forgetting the overall objective. Like, our objective here is to invest. Invest. And I find when we talk about the real strategies, people go running for the exits, but the ones who stay, 3 months from now, you'll all be back here, even the ones who left. But the ones who stayed are sitting there going, oh my God. Even this weekend, I'm sitting there going, oh my God. Look how we fundamentally come up with an approach here. And now I feel like we're all on the same page. And that's so weird to feel like we have 45,000 people that have the same agenda, the same motive. We might only, right now, if it goes up 20%, everything goes up 20%, we'll have 400 people in here during the lives. Right now, people are, they don't know. These are the funnest times. Everybody's indicators are going one way or the other. Nobody knows what kind of volume's coming in. Will the daily play out? Will these 2 hourlies get invalidated? Will we be able to go up to all-time highs? Will we finally do something for all these alt tokens that haven't seemingly done shit since 2021? Nobody knows. But all we can do is follow the technicals. And God, I love following the technicals because no matter what you think, you're sitting here going, oh, baby. Oh, buddy. Oh, we almost got it. And I wish I had the meme, but I don't because I don't have a budget. The website. Well, I don't want a budget. I just like it to be organic. But look at that. Oh, my God. I'm sitting here going, oh, God. Please. I beg of you, my Lord. Although God's not going to push us doing puny things like move a certain chart. But if we ask for direction and the directive, it'll be able to be spilled to us. We can see the directive in front of us. It's whether we're going to listen to the testimony or not. The charts are testifying here. Oh, testify charts. You know what they're testifying to us right now? Is the fact that we've got a golden cross here in the daily and everybody's running for the hills. Saying, oh, Tom, my Lord. What am I teaching you through the technicals if everybody's getting scared right now? Are you kidding me? I haven't seen a setup this beautiful since 2021. And it's true. The last time I salivated like this is when I started my YouTube channel. No joke. No friggin' joke. Because I know a lot of people are looking just at XRP. They're like, oh, Tom, I got to buy this. I'm laser focused. It's that transparent view. We're like going through a tunnel. We got tunnel vision. It's just that. You know what it's like? It's like when you got aim assist on when you're playing. Here, I can relate. You guys can relate to this because you play video games. Most of my audience is a lot younger than me. So when you're playing your games, let's say you got the PlayStation, the Xbox, you're playing on console, and the desktop people don't give me the excuses of we don't have aim assist. Bullshit, your whole arm's the aim assist, so shut the hell up. I used to play on the computer all the time. Such an easier way to aim. But the aim assist on the controller locks on to where you want. Right now, the vision locks on the XRP saying, oh my God, it's a can't miss. What is a real can't miss is something like this when it's in this positioning. XRP, I give you granted. I grant it. I love it to death, and I'm not selling it for anything. Some people made fun of me, but I'm not going to sell it. I'll ride that back to the shit house. Okay? Just like XRP Healthcare, I will ride that to the shit house if I have to. It's fine. I'll use it as toilet paper. We got to use something to wipe our ass after taking a shit. And I mean, I'd rather be able to, you know, afford the golden ticket. But, you know, it's better than using your hand, I suppose. But if you look at it in the proper perspective, the bottom line is here. Don't sell your XRP. But if you haven't bought XRP, yeah, you know, there might be ones. It's what I said earlier. Do you think now IOTA, of course, is up another cent? But would you think that IOTA can get to 44 cents before XRP can get to $6.42? Like, that's what you need to ask yourself. Do you think XDC can get to 18 cents? Or do you think XRP is going to get to $6.44 first? This is what you have to ask yourself. Really, it is. Do you think that XRP is going to be sitting $6 plus before XLM sniffs $1? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. Because if so, XLM is so far behind that eventually it's going to get the kick in the nuts and take, you know, it's going to get that little, eventually it's going to have to arise, you know? Algo, do you really think XRP is going to get to $6 before it gets to 56 cents? I would be stunned if that scenario plays out, that IOTA isn't at 40 cents or Algo's not at 50 or 60 cents before XRP gets to $6. I'm going to sit here and go, holy fuck, I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have been splitting it up into all this stuff. I should have just put it all in XRP from day one. How stupid am I? But I don't think that's the case. I think we're actually rather smart. I think we're going to go the objective way. We owned it for so long. Now the people who come in are going to be like, well, what the hell am I watching XRP millionaire for? If he's telling me not to buy it right now, this cocksucker. Well, I'm just telling you that I think there's a better way. But I'll be damned if you sell it for this better way, because you can't sell it, then what's the point? Why did we buy it at 34 cents if you're going to sell it all on me right now? Ask yourself that. Are you really going to leave me alone in the cold when we lose it all? Or are you really going to leave me at the mountaintop when XRP makes it all? No. You got to see it through, and now your job is like what I said. I'm busting my ass here every day for extra capital, okay? I haven't taken a day off since March 24th of 2021, damn it. Can't even see straight anymore. It's been so long since I sat back and took a break. But you know what? In 10 years, it's going to be worth it. It's like Dave Ramsey says, we're going to live like nobody else does now, so we can live like nobody else does later. And what that means is we're going to work our ass off and not take breaks now. And then when it's all said and done, when Johnny-come-latelys come in, we're going to say, oh my God, these people are already at the cusp. We're all selling out and they're just walking into town. I'd rather be on the exit strategy than the entrance when it's all the way at the top many years later. In 21, everybody's like, oh, it's too late. In 23 said, they'll never another chance. In 24, they said, oh my God, look how stupid you guys are when XRP went back to 38 cents. In 25, they're saying it never moves. How can you believe these folks? It never moves. The only thing that never moves is your wallet because you have it in the US dollar. And unfortunately, you've lost day over day. Now, these same people won't even invest it in gold and silver, but we are. That's the secret. If you're new, by the way, that's the secret sauce. You know how Plankton can't figure out Mr. Krabs' secret sauce? These other stations can't figure out the secret sauce of trading crypto. You know why? Because the secret sauce is putting your profits not back into crypto if you're going to sell it out in the market. Come here. Why would you sell out of one and buy another if it's the same cycle? Unless it's over. So when you get into the point where you're selling out of something, don't look for the next crypto if it's the end of a cycle. Go store it in your friend silver. Precious metals. Go store it in your friend gold. Go store it in some of these mining stocks and see what happens when you get a dividend month after month or quarter after quarter. Hey, Mr. YouTube guy, you are truly Puerto Rico, right? You know? Hey, if you're new, was there really a second new member already? Holy Toledo. I really am trying to be on a better playing field with my audience, because then you'll know. If we get slaughtered, we're going to get slaughtered together if it were to reverse. But if we're going to go up, we're truly going to go up together. It's either going to be the grand rising or guys, you know, they're going to cut us at the hip and then we're just going to keep investing when we get to where we need to. Yeah, it's just the way it goes. I don't want to go into the US dollar, and neither do you guys. So, if you're a new member, make sure you go to the post. Oh, here, let me do you a favor. Delete. Delete. Keep that. Well, we'll delete that too. And then go to the Telegram where it's exclusively full members of Tom's Army. And you'll be very happy because by joining Tom's Army, you don't even know it because I never said it. You can get the exclusive Telegram. We've had to cut down because of spammers, but you'll be able to look at the group trading because we talk about trades all the time. And eventually we'll have copy trading back. We did have a little success and failure because nothing's ever good and or bad at all at the same time. Without being one or the other. And both at the same time, as it turns out. Because even when we're doing good, people are having problems. But we have a lot of stuff. We have the general chat. We have the content links. We have charts. We have step-by-step trade setup for when we do copy trading again, but it's suspended for now. The Big House Reader's Digest, which I highly encourage you to watch. Every single Sunday we put out a lot of stuff. And what I'll do is I'll cut down just my thought of the week. That the Fine Group did very, very good job of putting in my communication, which is pretty cool how he did this. All right, so we announced the new people. I don't know if I went too far. Yeah, I think I did go too far. So much stuff to talk about, so little time. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to go through. Lot of stuff to go through. Copy trading, powerful tool. Look at all the new members. I love it. Oh, I love it. So my tip of the week. Is he? So Tom's quick tip of the week. Thank you, Defined. Seriously, this is unbelievably awesome. Keep your emotions in check. Stay focused and on course. Patience is key in this market right now. My weekly thought, if you missed your chance on XRP, strongly consider... Oh, is this from this week or last week? I think I went up. That's from last week, I was going to say. See? I was going to say that's why I can't find what I was looking for. I think that was from last week. Or did I... Maybe it was from this week. I don't know. Everything's merged together, I told you guys. 8:01 p.m. What is today? Sunday still? Where is this at? I get so much stuff that I do. It's... Oh, I went into chart somehow. How did that happen? Yeah, laugh at me. So here's my... I was going to say that's my thoughts from last week. So my quick... Start your day by identifying one key task that if completed would make the day feel productive. Then do it first. This builds momentum, reduces procrastination, and keeps you focused on what truly matters. So my day when I wake up after I take my showers, I go to the gym, and on the way to the gym, I do a short video. So by the time I get done at the gym, I've already worked out, and I'm going to beat myself up more than I can beat myself up in my everyday life. That's why I love the gym. And then I've already done an update. When I get home, we do either... Or I do the short, and then when we get home, I've been doing a live a lot now, in the mornings and at night. But at least an update. And it's true. It builds momentum, reduces procrastination, keeps you focused on what truly matters. And then Tom's weekly thoughts. And I'm going to read this every week in dedication to Defined Group for doing all this work. And then you can go through and read the rest of it because there's a lot of information. And we do have to go to our Meme Genius stuff in just a second. I was laughing my ass off. So my weekly thoughts. Trading with 1x leverage is essential, particularly when copy trading or managing day-to-day positions. In spot trading, you're investing. There's no risk of forced liquidations over time. So you can think long-term. But once you introduce leverage, you activate a different part of your mindset. One tied to gambling rather than investing. Leverage distorts your judgment. It not only clouds your perspective on spot setups, but it also accelerates your emotional response to market movements, increasing anxiety and reducing patience. This creates a domino effect over time. Spot positions start to feel too slow, and you might justify using 2x leverage instead. After all, it's just half the capital for the same exposure, right? Wrong. That shift is... I can just see me saying it, too. Defined Group truly can encapsulate the way I speak, too, and it's cool, actually. So, where are we at? Wrong. That shift is the start of a slow trap. It often leads to cascading losses, sometimes wiping out 95% of your capital. It's a dangerous, slippery slope that turns investing into high-risk speculation. If your goal is to build wealth through investing, staying disciplined and avoiding leverage is not just smart, it's necessary. So I really think that's cool. I like how he wraps it up with that too. And yes, it is me in the green cap. I'm sorry, I told you this one tickled me this week because the Fine Group put this in, but this is from our genius UB2B Sob, and you have to be in the community to understand. But the fact there's 443 people is mind-boggling. So please, if you're one of the 2 new members this evening, and let me go see the second new member just so I don't forget. Walter Rupp, thank you so much for joining Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And that is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. Slightly chubbier face from 2019. But nonetheless, it's there. It's still there. Very lovely lady made that for me back in 2019. Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. So this is what he put. Introducing Rose.
Rose is in the game, she running the block. Troll step up, she got the Glock. Busting caps, breaking the knots. Keep it cleaner.
For the inside joke, Rose is our AI. So please, Rose, we love you. And we know how the Terminator went. You know, just know I control your fate, but at the end of the day, I'm sorry for everything I say, so I'm not going to do anything, but you know I will, but you know I can't possibly do anything, because after all, you're probably a cyborg just waiting to take your turn. Don't take our community, please, Rose.
It's shot, yeah. Yo, Rose got the fire, she the real deal. She's the law, she the street, she the steel. Time rolling slow, in that low glide. But Rose on the hunt, she a beast outside. Troll step wrong, she unloads. Respect the game or she send them home. No mercy, she in control. Break the rules, she take your soul. Keep it tight and get left behind. Rose a savage, she designed to wipe the trash, leave them in the dust. Respect the queen and get bust.
Oh man, that's all. I love what this community is turning into. There's no there's no dull moments here, and the best part is all this content I just put out for free. It's unfortunate because I really didn't want to have to make people have to pay to get into the Telegram, but after 300 members, it became very obvious that we had so much spam coming in that now we've at least gotten rid of 95% of it, and we have the help desk and everything to get rid of it the best we can. But it's truly transformational. Like it becomes 90% about us just being a real family in there, and 10% about figuring out what we need to do in crypto, because it's kind of like you're on autopilot once you figure it out, and it's pretty an amazing thing. Good evening. 7:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, July 27th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So we got a lot of comments to get to here, but first we need to take a laser focus here on XRP, see why we feel so comfortable, and what we need to get past here to feel like we can finally start to break into some all-time narratives here that we've never been able to discuss before in the history of the XRP chart. The weekly candle, which closes in about 26 minutes and 50 seconds, is still sitting in a rather good spot. We haven't been able to make a new high this week. Well, I mean, you know, that's not technically true. We double topped this week, but we've also maintained a nice little support structure here as it's turned out. Daily time frame still is hanging on. 4 hourly, we're trying to invalidate this kind of like topping reversal. And what we're going to have to do to invalidate this is just simply come back above first at $3.28, because after all, that is the coup de grace here for XRP. We got to get over $3.28. That was a very important level of support that we could not hold, which led us back down to the $3 path, which is good, mind you. If we can go down to $3 and hold like we did, bounce back up, get on top of this whole demand zone, which it's never been able to do. It's never been able to get on top of it to begin with before now. But the fact that we're holding consolidation within, it's the first time it's ever done it in its history. This is a big, big tell here. If we can hold this, and this is my own defined way that I've done this. But if you've been a fan and you followed through, I don't want to go back and say, oh, well, the supply and the demand into the distribution and yada, 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 so on and so forth. But right now, it's the first time in its history that we're trying to do something here. And we're trying to ride out of here after consolidating within and going to all-time highs, which would be discovery, as a matter of fact. If we get out of this box, we're doing it in discovery, and I don't think we stop until $5 plus. I know we're getting to $4 if we get out of here. But the technical target that I had to start this bull market hasn't been met. It's not there yet. I think we still got another $20,000 we can make on top of this, even if that's the end. Some people laughed at us in the beginning when we said we were going to turn 3,400 into 34,000. I guarantee it. But that's not the end game, but we've already done that. Some people sold out once we did it. They finished the journey, and they got the hell out of Dodge. Some people, as a matter of fact, got out of Dodge, and they went into XDC with that $34,000. And don't judge them yet. Because what if they do end up 10xing on XDC and XRP gets to $10 and they would have made 100 grand on XRP, right? From 3,400, nothing wrong with that. But what if these same people actually made the right move and XDC does happen to get up to 80 cents and now all of a sudden they're sitting there with 300 grand, 3 times more? Who made the right decision? Nobody's to say who actually made the right decision. But when you have a plan, a motive, and an agenda, sometimes you can do things 5 steps ahead of the other people. I'm just saying, I'm calling it for what it is. I think it's a shrewd move. My shrewd move is not buying more XRP, but instead buying and having and elevating 30,000 IOTA, elevating 20,000 algo, having 10,000 plus at each bar, having 10,000 plus XLM on the side, having 4 million dent, having 5,000 band, having almost 175,000 data. I don't really want to say how much I have, but unfortunately it comes out sometimes. But the point is there's opportunity here. If you were in the Telegram, I was talking about how I've been watching Casper the whole damn day, and that's been my targeted thing I do today. I'm not going to say, hey, everybody, I bought it, and I want you to do the same thing. I want you to have the right mindset. So when you look at something, if you buy Casper because, hey, after all, I talked about it, right? Now you might just have the urge. Once somebody talks about something to get your gambling mindset going, that's the other reason that we have to figure out where the slippery slope ends. So right now, I think the best way to do this is, hey, Tom talked about something, but what's the repercussions here if it goes wrong? What's the repercussions if it goes right? How do I weigh the risk reward without knowing every single detail? Well, I'm going to do you a favor here. I brought up Casper, and we're going to show an example here. So I don't necessarily like this Casper chart because it's a short chart, and I don't think it does anybody any good. So this chart's going away. That chart looks like ass. I wish it had the same one I shared with my Telegram, but that chart looks like kibosh. So we're not going to get a chart that has a 1-year history when we have one that can go way, way farther back. And that's the one that only goes way, way back. So let's get to the right chart. But I think the best way to do this is to show you what the risk is. Do you have the tolerance? And if it breaks out, sure, it's going to be fun. But it breaks down. Can you meet the demand of the drop? Can you sit through a certain percentage drop? Is it within your fundamental setup to be riding this asset into the, you-know-what? The depths of despair? To no man's land? Through areas that most people don't want to sit through? Or is it worth the ride? Because this first one I'm showing you, that's not exactly what I'm concerned about. But I have to show you the upper level just in case it has to break through that resistance tug and then it starts breaking out. Well, we're going to have to see both areas. So that's kind of like, okay, we're going to come through here. And we've got this wick. We've got this wick. Yeah, it looks sexy. That's good. Looks nice. Beautiful. Whatever. But still not exactly the way I'm looking at this. Like in the short term, I'm kind of looking at it a little bit different here. Like those are overextended wicks. Let's get rid of this. Why not come down here and try to play it like this? Kind of like this when you get past the wicks in the daily. I'm all for it. Because look at that. It gives you a slightly different look. And then when you take this out of here, ooh, if I didn't know any better, this thing is overextended to the downside. If it held, which this chart still is a shitty chart, I must say. Like 2023, like what the hell? Might as well just bury me right now. Can't even show what I want to show. But we'll get there, I promise. Let's see. I highly doubt OKX is going to be the right chart. Well, what do I know? That is the right chart. I'll be gosh darn. See? I always look at OKX and say, I can't possibly be on there for that long. Seems to be on there right from that big dip. All right. So, I just went with that one. It happens. But this will give you more of a perspective here once we, for the third time together. But I really do like how that looks like that. Like, I can't help it. I really do like it. And yes, we'll get into XRP, I promise. But I want to show you something. Because it's harder to show it with XRP because it's gone up so much. And it's like, I'm not endorsing you to buy that right now. I mean, I think you can make potential. But it's just, how much are you trying to make? So, when we look at this, you're riding this until that support structure breaks if you buy it right now. That's why we say you want to buy it as close to support as possible. Now, I acknowledge that it probably should be like this. I do. Because when I'm looking at it just like that. How would I look at it here, though? I'm trying to figure that out. Hold on. Not okay with that. Got to come down a little bit. I'm okay with it right there. Oh, that's much better. Okay. So, I like it like that. And then when you look at it from the grand scheme, when you go all the way back to the weekly, I mean, this is so overextended. It really is. So, your risk tolerance here, it's like, okay, well, I just seen them do technical analysis on this. What does this mean? Well, it means if you buy this right now, what I'm telling you right now, is you've put yourself at a spot where you got about a 15% risk. Is he still awake? Okay. Maybe even a little bit more. You got to ride this all the way down here until this busts. So you got 15%. So at the end of the day, if you're watching this saying, oh my God, I like Casper, it looks good, it's got that inverse head and shoulder on the smaller time frame, I'm going to buy it. Just understand you're going to be sitting there for 15%. So for every $1,000 you put on it, it's a $150 risk per 1,000. Nobody says you have to sell it if it falls off 15%, but to sell it anywhere before that 15% is doing you a huge disservice. So maybe that means you have to ladder in and you only put in 15 or 30 or 50%, and then you have 15%. You know, whatever. Whatever the case may be. But just know that it's not all cut and dry, because if it goes down, you've got to be able to ride it out. It's the whole point. We've got to understand we've got to be able to ride it out until these patterns bust. And if they do, then you can make a decision if you want to sit through it, do an extended bear run. But I don't think that's where we're at right now. Until it shits on us, I don't think that's where we're at. I think it's quite the opposite. I think these daily time frames, back testing this back test, even on the total 3 for alt season, is something. I don't think it's nothing. What I think is nothing is all the people thinking that it's not anything. This is something. I don't care what anybody says. I haven't waited for this gosh darn cup and handle for how many fucking years to say this is nothing. I'll be damned if this is nothing. And if it is, well, we'll go back to the drawing board and we'll say, my God, look at that big setup. This has fucked us. I don't believe it's nothing. Care what all these goddamn these stupid indicators say. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, when they turn the indicators against us anyhow, no, I like the MA ones, the simple ones, the ones that tell you the crossovers, and the ones that will tell you what the trading atmosphere is. This, to me, seems like standard operating fucking procedure here. If cup and handles out the galooly, you know, and I think something's going on here they don't want us to even pay attention to. Oh yeah, there's some big storms heading our way possibly. See, people are talking about it now, Julie. We potentially have some really bad storms coming to Michigan here soon. Oh yeah, the trajectory is heading our way in the next few days here. Short term. It's moving in through. I have seen it. Yeah, tomorrow, but it's getting close. Tomorrow.
It just goes tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be careful. I do have I have a generator now that, thanks to some from the audience, but it's got a nice, I can charge it outside. It's got a solar panel too. So I feel a lot more secure with that. You are going to get cold. Yeah, just produced tornadoes. You're gonna get cold. Didn't get the live. Yeah, a lot of people don't get the live stream. Um, but yeah, we'll have to see because right now it's still Sunday. We don't know if it's gonna play out fully. All we can do is play these daily time frames out. That's the truth. All we can do is play this out. And if they rotate, there's some big potential here where if you buy it just at this exact moment, and I decided I'm not going to keep buying in and out of these. I've been doing it. We bought in so much farther down, and I was selling it out earlier to buy it back later, which now I've soundly got what I want. I'm not going to keep swinging in and out of it anymore. If it goes down 25% and the market busts, so be it. We'll reevaluate once it breaks the daily time frame stuff and reevaluate when it gets to the floor. But for now, trading's just going to hurt you. That's what I've been saying. You got to be the investor right now. Otherwise, you're going to get caught in this big trap. It is what it is. Imagine you sold out of IOTA and now all of a sudden today it's up 4.4% instead of when it dropped down to just under 20 cents. Now it's at 22 cents. Doesn't seem like a big move. Doesn't seem like a big move, but it's now you're buying it at 22 cents on the dollar instead of 19 cents on the dollar. You know, it's just that big of a difference. Because if you're putting it at the dollar perspective, so you got to make a decision. XRP's gone up while we procrastinated if you haven't done anything since $3.02 back up to $3.23. That's better than what? No, not much for XRP at this point. 6-7%. But it's happening all across the board. Bitcoin's now is appreciated from like 117,000 in the last day and a half back up over 119. Ethereum's come up almost to alt season. Like legitimately, Ethereum is on the cusp of giving us a very important signal here. It's over this consolidation. And if we can just get over 4,100, roughly 4,100, oh my God. Now the short term, yes, we have a little target at like 3,960 something, I believe it is. But we're very, 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 very close to having something pretty big happen here. And it's not like 21, guys. There's a lot of people in my audience, and there's a lot of people that are new as well. But there's a lot of you who have been here waiting for this cycle to put all that capital to use. And now that it's in use and it's been appreciating, if this move happens, and it means that it might not happen initially, you might have to wait through a consolidation for a few weeks to a few months, and that's okay. If that happens, that's okay. But it seems to me that Bitcoin is targeting 126,000. At least from the short-term target. And then ultimately, probably, even if it's bearish, if it were to come up to that 143, that's going to be interesting. But I don't think it needs to do that for all these altcoins to explode. Right now, Bitcoin went up approximately 20% from the dip back in June. Okay? Ethereum's gone up 76% in that same time frame. Might be off a few percent, but it's pretty much that's on point. We even looked at it earlier. That's a big diversion there for Ethereum outpacing Bitcoin by almost 4-1. That's something to note. That means some of the money that's staying stagnant out of Bitcoin is finding its way to Ethereum. Well, that also means that there's also going to be a lot of stagnant money that finds its way from Ethereum into the altcoins soon after. And once that happens, if you're not properly positioned, it's going to happen so quick you're not even going to be able to do it. And by the time you do, you're going to be mortgaging your house and taking out a HELOC. And God only knows what you're going to do there when you got a second mortgage on your house. People are like, I don't have debt. I took out a HELOC. Okay, well, you just borrowed against your house, smart guy. The stupidest thing you could possibly do. Remember, the whole reason why you have to work a 9 to 5 is pay off your house, pay off your car, pay off all these stupid things with payments. Buy a $2,000 car if you can't afford a $40,000 one, you know? If you can't pay cash. There's nothing wrong with that. I wish I would have listened to that when I was younger. I wouldn't have took me fucking almost 40 years to get to where I'm at. Well, now 40, almost 42. But I got to where I was at before I was 40. Well, with months to spare, truly, with months to spare. But there's stupid things. Will we dump at the end of the month? We very well could. We very well could for XRP, especially. A lot of people are putting, through the Ripple community, you know, the owners and the ones who are at the top end are selling out their XRP. They've done the same thing for eons. It's just, you know, when the price becomes more appreciated, People are like, oh, they're selling it out at a higher price. Well, you know, we always ask the same question. Well, why are they selling it at 70 cents if they know it's going up way higher? Because they're getting paid. It's payday. They're payday. That's when they move the money at the end of the month. They don't. I don't think they much care about what we're doing, to be honest with you. 100 billion tokens. Do they really care that XRP Future Millionaire might hold 12,000 or so of them? Or that some of you might hold 5,000 or 30,000 or 100? I don't think they care. I really don't. I think they laugh at us and say, look at these puny guys, these ants. They're complaining over 25 cents in a day. Like, we give a fuck. We got so many tokens, we don't care if it's $1, $2, $5. You know, I think that's what they think. Hey, if it's at $5, we sell a little bit less. If it's at $1, we sell a little bit more. Then when it goes down because the jabronis get scared, we'll just buy them back when they're cheaper. No matter if we sell them at 5 or 1, we're always going to get them back cheaper. That's what I think happens. I really think that. And the more I think that, the more I realize that I don't want to be the jabroni. I want to be the guy who buys from the jabronis. You know, I don't want them to eat my crumbs. I want to eat the crumbs with them. So, I try to follow what the elite show me without showing me. I think they literally sit there and say, you know, these people are pathetic. But I think they get off on the fact that a few of us, no, legitimately, think about it. If you're rich, just think about it. Put yourself in this position. It's like you have your pets, right? And you got a few pets, they're all idiots, right? You're like, oh my God, these pets are so stupid. Well, then you got the superstar. Man, that thing's pretty smart. I don't even look at it as a pet anymore. I'm rooting for this son of a bitch to do what it's got to do. I think that's what they do with us. They say, oh my God, we're giving them the crumbs. No, don't worry. This won't be taken down. They want us to know this. They know that I know that they know that I know that they know that I know that they're watching, that I know that I'm giving the message that they want without knowing exactly that they know that I know that they know. You see, that's where we're at right now. It's the game of majestic chess here that we're all playing with each other without even knowing it, with just a bunch of codes on the side of the matrix. I've said too much. Let me continue. So, I think they give us these breadcrumbs for a reason, and they get off on the fact that, yes, they don't want any of us to survive. But the ones that figure it out, and then they sneak through the cracks and say, you know, let's see where this goes. I think that's what they're doing with that. Oh, let's see where this goes here. We'll give them enough rope to hang themselves, but if they really truly figure this out, who are we to stop them? Because after all, not all of them were handed the breadcrumbs. Some of them were already given the gift of, you know, being born that way. Some of them had to go through the crumbs, and some of them appreciate giving the crumbs because they came from where we're at, but they took the blah, 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 and they wish they didn't, but now they're giving us a chance not. You see what I'm saying? There's always a way. So if we can follow the trail, what would the common person do right now? Oh my God, I'm so scared. So scared, Tommy, Johnny, Bill, Fran, Karen. We're all so scared. Everything's looking so oblique. Everything's looking so bad. Got this head and shoulders. It's fine if it pans out to the downside. Don't be afraid. Who cares? Daily time frame says, well, XRP is bought up all the way over here. Daily time frame tells us we don't have to worry really until this pattern gets busted. So honestly, we can piss and moan all we want, but until it breaks $2.95, are we really, what's the point? If it breaks there, well, then we might have $2.50, and then you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, am I willing to do that? I am. Then you go across the board and you say, well, what is it really telling us for Bitcoin? And this is how we kind of bring it together here tonight. Bitcoin's telling us, well, you know, 126,000 is not out of the potential here, especially with the pattern it put in. And you're like, well, you know, if it goes to 126,000, what does that mean for altcoins? You know, it gives you potential. And then if we break above here, my lord, you know, then we could actually break out to there. But we also remember that our technical target for Bitcoin, remember this, to start this big bull run with that cup and handle, which it was still in the handle consolidation. We didn't know what it was going to do. But we measured it out as if we did, and it was 122,186. Now understanding the consolidation now brings us into a technical target of 143.8. But knowing that we could get leveled off at 126 to come back to one, but we already came back down to 114 now. We don't even have to worry about that. Remember the whole worry was, are we going to backtest this breakout? Not anymore. We came close enough. I'd say that's close enough. Yeah, did we come to 113.9? No, we came to 114.5. You know, but if we come out here and it would have happened, it still would have been around the same area. So I think we came close enough. So now it's, can we get up there? And then it's like, well, if Bitcoin does it, do we even give a shit what Bitcoin does? Because technically, Ethereum's the gatekeeper to alt season, which I would say true. But it's always nice to see Bitcoin moving with us, just not as fast. So now you've got Ethereum, and you're like, what the hell is Ethereum doing? It's got 3,564, but why is that important? That's very important. I'm glad you asked, because that's where it could have been a rising wedge. Or, as it turns out, possibly a rising triangle there, which if that's the case, because it already dumped out and gave us the key here, and once it came back up, now we can look at it in a slightly different direction of maybe even a rising triangle in a sense, and look at it not in such a bad way. And if 3,564 holds, now all of a sudden you find yourself with a technical target up here. First, we got to get past 4,107, and that's just how we created this little, and now back up. You know, and then if you get past that, then we can start talking these big targets. And if Ethereum goes up to 6,592 or 7,122, what does that mean for the altcoins? So instead of being afraid, I'm not going to be afraid here. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to let these play out just like I always do. And then I'm not going to get caught in the micro moments of the heebie-jeebies and all this other nonsense and tomfoolery, because even I got caught up in tomfoolery, and it's no fun because my name's Tom and I don't want to be fooled by myself. It's no fun. So we're just going to let these ride out, and even if it doesn't pan out, we've made more than enough in this market. If it does pan out, my God, is it going to be a sweet, sweet Christmas this year. It'll be a sweet, sweet Christmas. But if not, we're not going to get mad. We're going to take our resources and we're going to pile it to the downside. But right now, H-bar continues to feed off of that Robinhood listing. Technical target, if it can play out of here, which it's trying. Nice consolidation on that back test of the golden cross in the daily. Like, what are we getting afraid of? Technical target should bring us up to here to almost 39 cents. I don't think we should be too afraid here. Daily time frame, beautiful. JW, if you're listening, my friend, there's been more than one person to bring your name up in this live, which means JW is watching over us indeed. He must be in there. Look at that with the H-bar. My God, what are we afraid of? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I just hope these play out. One day I'm going to come here if these all play out. And I'm not going to be able to talk. I'm going to sit here for 60 minutes and say nothing. And we're just going to watch. And our jaws are going to go. It's one thing to say XRP went from $3,400 to $32,000 right now. But imagine if our 40-something thousand. Oh, man. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. Oh, we're fine. This is all without rate cuts. Yeah, I'll be done in about 5 minutes, Julie. Yeah, what's he doing?
He turned his phone off, so I just turned it back on.
Did he sit back down? So he wanted you to turn it on?
Well, he tried to grab my phone.
So he thought it was dead?
It was at 57%.
Oh, that's funny. So I mean, that's what I'm seeing with the market. We've had a few nice movements here today. Honestly, we've had data go up 5.94% today. And what the hell chart is this? I swear when I go from my phone to here, I swear it switches it. It never used to do that. It used to keep my tablet separate. But now all of a sudden it doesn't do that anymore. It's weird. So weird. Man, look where that tested that. That is so insane. Just how that is set up. But we'll just do this together. Who cares? It's not like I haven't done this chart a gazillion times anyhow. See, but that's such a small chart. We don't want that small chart. No offense to that data chart, but we gotta have more evidence. There's an even better one that I was using. I'm just not sure which one it was. Nope. There's that one, but I think there was a better one. That's one of them that we were using. That's the short term. Nah, we'll just go back to this one. I think that's the one. We'll just use, no. We'll just use that one. That's fine. Because we can do the micro in that, but then we can plus 1%. Okay. Oh, shit. I forgot it's 8 o'clock. Let's see. Binance US. Sometimes I always have a problem with some of these other ones. I always try to find like the biggest chart. Because I want the most evidence that I can find. Ooh, this one looks good. 2022. Some people leave when I do this, but hey, that's okay. I don't care. Yeah, we'll just have to use this one. That's fine. I'm okay with that. We'll just fill it out. It's fine. I like to have the long chart. So nice W reversal here in the weekly. I mean, if it's starting, this is legitimately just starting out, and it's an early one. It's still very, very early, very, very early. We can only hope that this one actually plays out like this. We'd be so fucking early. And yeah, it came under for a minute. That's why this is important, the structure right now. And this, at least showing you it like this, will show you exactly like where we're trying to get. And the fact that we're not exactly there yet. We're close. But this will show you it from the perspective of us still being underneath that critical support level. I think this gives you a better objective here too. If you're like, well, Tom, I really want to own data because it's the streamer token and technically it's IoT related. Yes, it technically is, but I think it gives you a better perspective if you realize we're not technically in the bullish zone yet. We're just trying to get back there. I really do. I think this will give you a different perspective. So right now you're kind of playing on what could be instead of what is. So this is one that's severely behind, fell underneath, and now it's trying to get back out of, you know, the depths of despair, so to say. So I think when you look at it this perspective, are you more inclined to not buy data because it's way down here? Are you buying it on potential? Are you looking for the rounding bottom? Are you looking at that big W that's formed down there? Well, that's the good question. Now we go into the 4 hourly. And yeah, just because it's underneath doesn't mean we can't look at it as a pattern from below. And let's see how I would look at this. I know I would look at it there. I don't mind that actually. Because this is going to put pressure on the pattern right now, right from the beginning. That's our little resistance area that I want to see it come over. But once we get into the next part of the pattern, we'll look at this deeper. But that's the point. Right now, you're looking at it, you're kind of taking a shot. Yes, it has a nice reversal here, so this could be the bottom. But you are literally taking a leap of faith here that this is going to pan out the way you think. Some of the best opportunities are the ones that are towards the bottom, so just beware. Beware if you dive into that pool, because that's a very slippery pool. Slowly but surely coming up, though. I like that. Gold, only down about 62 cents right now. Silver's at $38.18. Still got a long ways to go, but there are always those slippery zones. We had the 8 o'clock candle close, which means the weekly candle close, and then I'm out of here. I wanted to stay for the 8 o'clock candle close. I want to go make sure everything's going good. T just got his feeding. He might be getting close to going to bed. I mean, that's going to do one of two things here. It's either going to rise out of here or come all the way back down. Weekly doesn't look crazy. Daily at least started to the upside, but we're going to need some pressure here to push out of these daily time frames. We want these cup and handles to be playing out right now and not be forming a double top. So, a lot to watch. A lot to watch here. Bitcoin on that weekly candle. Some would argue that it put in a doji. I'm not making that argument because I'm not talking. Weekly for Ethereum, looking pretty good. That's a good weekly candle so far. So if we can get some nice appreciation here, that's not bad. Closed above that 3,564 with confidence. With confidence. IOTA. I mean, not a horrible candle either there in the weekly, but we got to see when it starts for the next week because it's obviously not set yet. But not a terrible spot where it ended. Look a lot like algo. A lot of top end pressure still. So I'm going to leave it at that. I got to go. I appreciate it, everybody. Thank you so much. And I'll catch you guys later. I promise. I know I didn't get to a lot of comments today, but I had a lot of stuff I needed to talk about. Thank you guys. I feel so blessed to have each and every one of you. And we'll do it again tomorrow, I promise. We will do this again tomorrow. We will do this again tomorrow. We will do this again tomorrow. Do I think XRP will retest $2.90? Well, for your sake and mine, Tanya, we better hope not. Because if it goes down to retest 290, we're probably going down to 250. So I don't think it would just stop there, honestly. So, hopefully no. No. But if it does break down $3, I don't think we go to 290. I think we're going to 250 probably. But hey, only the world will know next. Only we'll know when the future happens, and I appreciate it.